Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Fatima from Paris Senior Schools in Qatar. Today we are going to end our unit number 8, Good News from the Doctors. As we know that, we end the unit with the episode from the novel Around the World in 80 Days. This episode name is Bartering from San Francisco. As you can see that, Mr. Fix is still following Mr. Fogg. But, luckily or unluckily, he cannot catch him until they reach England. Why? Because neither San Francisco nor New York is a British territory. So he must wait and be with them until they reach England. Each and every episode of this novel is full of adventure. So is this one. Let's find out. Thank you.
Let's start the period with the initial video.
Around the World in 80 Days, Chapter 22, The Train to New York. After being assaulted, Fix finally stood up. He had an enormous bruise on his cheek, and his windows. Around noon, the train approached a herd of 10 or 12,000 buffalo that were crossing the tracks. The train slowed, attempting to push through, but the mass of animals was too great. It took 3 full hours for the beasts to clear the tracks. By the time the last buffalo crossed the rails, the first had already reached the horizon. Passepartout was furious at the delay.
What a country!
He cried.
Mere cattle stop the trains. I would like to know if Mr. Fogg foresaw this delay.
While Passepartout was cursing impatiently, Aouda was growing anxious for a different reason. At the last stop, several passengers had walked up and down the platform for fresh air. Among them, Aouda had recognized Colonel Proctor. Her heart pounded when she saw the man that Mr. Fogg had promised to challenge. It was necessary at all costs to prevent Mr. Fogg from seeing his adversary. Aouda seized a moment when Mr. Fogg was asleep to tell Fix and Passepartout.
Colonel Proctor on this train?
Cried Fix.
Well, before he settles with Mr. Fogg, he's got to settle with me.
Mr. Fix? Replied Aouda. Mr. Fogg will allow no one to avenge him. He told me that he was prepared to return to America after his journey to find this man. He must not see Colonel Proctor. Mr. Fogg woke up, and the conversation quickly stopped. Aouda madly searched for a way to distract Mr. Fogg. Suddenly, an idea came to her. Whist! She whispered her idea to Fix, and soon after, a game began. Fix knew the game well, and Aouda and Passepartout picked it up quickly. They played all morning. Shortly after lunch, they had just begun a new round when the train let out a whistle and stopped. Passepartout put his head out the window, but could see nothing that could have caused the delay. He jumped out of the car and found the signalman talking to the engineer.
No, you can't pass.
The signalman was saying.
The bridge at Medicine Creek is shaky and can't bear the weight of the train. The river is deep there. It's not safe.
The passengers would have to walk along the river to a safe place to cross, and then walk another 6 hours to the next station. Passepartout's heart almost stopped when he heard this news. By now, a crowd had gathered around the engineer and the signalman, and an argument broke out. Finally, the engineer calmed the crowd and suggested a daring plan. By accelerating the train to its very highest speed, they might have a chance of racing over the bridge before it collapsed into the rapids below. Passepartout was shocked. He was ready to try almost anything to get over Medicine Creek, but this solution was almost a little too daring. He ran back to the cabin to tell the others what was happening.
All aboard!
Cried the conductor. The engineer reversed the train for almost a mile, and then, with a whistle, the train began moving forward again. The engine puffed huge clouds of steam as the train gained speed, going faster and faster. The cars shook and the windows rattled. It was like a frightful iron beast racing to its destruction. Just before the river, the train exceeded 100 miles an hour. It sailed over the bridge, hardly touching the rails at all. The last car had just reached the other side safely when the bridge fell with a crash into the rapids below.
Yes, let's start reading the novel. It was 7 a.m. on 3rd December when Fogg, Oda, and Passepartout left the General Grant in San Francisco. The train did not depart for New York until 6 that evening, so they had some time. First, they went to a hotel near the port to have breakfast. I've heard that the Sioux have attacked some trains this winter, so shall I buy some guns to take with us on the train? Said Passepartout to Fogg. Who are Sioux? Sioux are the Native Americans who fought with white Americans in order to get back their land. Fogg gave Passepartout some money to get the guns while he and Oda went to see the city. Then Fix suddenly appeared. He pretended to be amazed to see them and said, "What? Have we just been across the Pacific together and not met on the ship?" Fogg politely invited Fix to look round the city with them, and the detective happily accepted. In the afternoon, they returned to the hotel to meet Passepartout, and then they all went to the railway station. The train left on time and started its long and dangerous journey across America. You will find in this episode that Mr. Fix has been nice with Mr. Fogg. Why? Because both of them wanted to get to England as soon as possible. Mr. Fogg, he wanted to win the bet, whereas Mr. Fix, he wanted to catch Mr. Fogg. So both of them had the same destination, getting England at the earliest. This trip usually took 7 days, so Fogg planned to be in New York to catch a ship across the Atlantic Ocean on 11 December. The passengers ate and slept on the train as it moved slowly across California and into the mountains. At one place, the train had to stop for 3 hours because 10 or 12,000 buffalo were walking slowly across the railway line. By 11 a.m. on 7 December, the train was near the highest point in the wide, snowy mountain, but then it stopped. Passepartout and lots of other passengers got off to find out why. Ahead, there was a red signal. Beside it, the driver was talking seriously with a man who had been sent from the next station to stop the train. He was saying, "You can't go on. The bridge ahead is damaged and won't support the train's weight." A telegram had been sent for a new train to come from farther east and pick up everyone from the next station. But the passengers would have to walk for 6 hours through the snow to get there. 6 hours? Cried Passepartout, thinking of Fogg's timetable. Walk in the snow? Cried the other travelers. Nobody was happy. But then the driver said, "There is a way of getting across. If we go at full speed, there is a good chance that we will succeed." What a daring idea. You can see the picture that the bridge has been collapsed soon after the train passed by. What a crazy idea, Passepartout thought. However, everyone else liked the driver's exciting plan. So that was the end of the discussion. "Take your seats, everyone," shouted the driver. They all jumped on the train again and the train went back nearly a mile, then it started to move forward again, faster and faster until it was doing 100 miles per hour. It almost flew over the bridge. There was only one problem. I think that's not a problem though. Just after they had crossed, the whole bridge fell with a huge crash into the water below. Since Mr. Fogg, Passepartout, and Oda are safe, we do not care about this bridge. So, dear students, let's get to the exercises. Your favorite exercises, no more question answers, only you have to match 1 to A to A to H. Pause the video, match it, and then replay the video in order to know the correct answers. And maybe you have already answered correct answers as you are very excellent and intelligent students. Yes, these are the answers. This was the end from my side. Best of luck. Wishing you all the best. From Palestinian schools in Qatar, I am Miss Fatima Muhammad Iqbal saying goodbye.